Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is scheduled for three-minute rounds in the Front Street Fights lightweight division. Here are your competitors. First fighting out of the red corner to my right. Standing in at 6 feet tall, weighing 156 pounds with a record of 1-2. From Caldwell, Idaho, representing No Excuse MMA Club, I give you ferocious Paul Crawford. His opponent across the ring to my left, standing in tonight at 5 feet 7 inches tall, weighing in an even 155 pounds, with a record of 3 wins against 2 defeats, from Boise, Idaho, representing SBG Combat Fitness, I give you Chase Peel. Our referee in charge of the action when it begins is Tom Supnet.
All right, we are on our way with our second fight of the night. Paul Crawford with the record 1-2. Chase Peel, the record of 3-2. Paul Crawford is successful in this arena. Of course, that was at RFA 27, Murphy versus Brock. He is looking for his first win inside the Front Street Fights cage.
He's got a game opponent in Chase Peel. Chase Peel is a perennial local family that does kung fu. So he's been striking his whole life.
Good inside leg kick to start off the round. Chase looking very focused. This has been the first little bit since
nice overhand
since
left
the
by
Peel
Crawford.
brothers have been back inside the cage. Oh, good strong left.
Did you hear that?
By Paul Crawford. That hurt me.
Ouch.
I know he wasn't trying to punch me, but that one hurt me. We talked to Paul Crawford a little bit earlier on in the week. If you look on FrontStreetFights.com, the interview that we had with him, he mentioned that he was working on becoming a more well-rounded fighter, specifically mentioning his striking, and we saw that payoff right there. He looks a lot more relaxed than we have ever seen him in this cage.
He looks really, really good, and he's got his hands down by his legs, by his hips, which means just confidence, and not that that's recommended to do, but you know, he's throwing shots from his pockets, so he feels pretty comfortable in not defending the punches. It's not fundamentally correct, but people do that usually when they feel like they're outmatched in a good way.
There you go. Set up with that reach. Set up the reach.
But Crawford's doing really good going in and out with his penetrations on his steps. You know, he's going in and out. He's always circling. You know, he's staying hard. But the only critique I have is he's just loading up one big shot like that one.
In the battle that Chase Peel has to fight in here is the 3-inch deficit in height to Paul Crawford, and also the reach advantage that Paul Crawford has over Chase Peel, a 74-inch versus a 69.5-inch reach.
Crawford had a really good single leg, ran the pike. Then now on the scramble, he got up, he started attacking the throat, and then he disengaged and got back out. He's fighting really smart. He shouldn't be an amateur much longer. The way this guy's fighting he's doing really well.
And I'll tell you, just 2 minutes into round number 1 here between Paul Crawford and Chase Peel. As we mentioned, this is the best we have ever seen Paul Crawford look.
See, Crawford's just loading up with a big one punch, and it's always his left hand. So Chase needs to, actually start getting a little bit more proactive and be a little less reactive if he chance to. There's a slam.
Oh, Paul just throws Chase down to the ground. He got the guillotine. He has it locked in. Is it in enough?
It's an arm in, though. No, he doesn't have a choke right now. But he's only got 29 seconds in the round.
No panic there from Chase Peel. Trying to get out of this.
He's just going to hold on. He's got 20 seconds left.
Paul Crawford doing a very smart job in trying to keep him against the cage, limited the areas that Chase has to get out of this and use.
I think Crawford's just cruising till the end of this round because I think he got enough to get the round by the judges, and see, this little flurry for 5 seconds isn't going to help.
All right, we've gone to round number 1, Paul Crawford versus Chase Peel. And I got to tell you, the biggest thing that I've seen so far in this is just how good Paul Crawford looks tonight.
He's unbelievable. It's like he's been studying.
Beautiful. Gorgeous timing. Hands up. Praise the Lord.
All right, we're going to take a look at our replay brought to you by Project Filter. You decide when. We'll show you how. The big left hook coming in here by Paul Crawford.
Watch Crawford's head movement before. He did a little head movement right before, kind of throwing Chase off. And then he brought that hammer over the top.
Chase Peel spent a lot of time in this one rightfully so, maybe leaning back just a little bit, using his legs to advantage, trying to keep Paul at a distance. Because again, as we mentioned, the 74-inch reach of Paul Crawford over the 69.5-inch reach of Chase Peel. And that one, Paul just throws him down.
See, technically, I mean, Chase is doing, Chase Peel's trying to throw leg kicks, but with 3-minute rounds, the fighter's not really going to absorb enough damage. You need to be in 5-minute rounds to really make those leg kicks really work for you. The only reason you should be throwing leg kicks is to set up your punches at this level.
For Chase Peel to have a better successful second round, obviously that one, as you alluded to, more than likely went the way of Paul Crawford. What's the game plan for Chase Peel right now?
As I just stated before, he needs to use his kicks because those are better than Crawford's. He needs to use his kicks to set up his striking and set up takedowns, because Chase keeps walking backwards because he gets hit with these big bombs.
Oh, spinning back fist by Chase Peel, connects with Paul Crawford. Not a lot of damage in. Paul smartly grabs Chase, brings him in, puts him in the back of the cage. Chase trying to get that slam. Ooh. Paul had an attempt, but again, gives up that guillotine.
And see, sometimes you get a little candy, the Nick's there, and I can't see the other side, so I don't know if he has it. I think it's an arm in, so he's not in danger. And so, when people are starting to get taken down, they go for that choke, and they need to actually get that bounce off the canvas and get right back up instead of gluing themselves to them, by going for these chokes. Now he's in trouble. Crawford is in trouble because both of his arms seem to be caught, and
very smart move by Chase Peel. Again, you've got to use what you can to your advantage. The reach, the biggest deficit in this fight, lock those arms up.
Yep, and Paul needs to try to walk backwards like he's doing now and go for that single, pop his head out as soon as possible. Once he gets some daylight in his head, he'll be a lot better off. He could sit through and sit all the way up, or just pop his head out to one side and turn the corner.
Now the danger that Paul Crawford exposes himself to now, not anymore, but right there, leaving the side of the body open. One hard liver shot, he's done.
Yes, absolutely. Paul, remember earlier in the first round, he got a good single leg and got the takedown off of it. So, I think he's probably going to favor that single leg.
Much more aggressive round for Chase Peel in this one.
There you go, big tilt.
Oh, nice. Hard slam. Throws him down. Chase Peel landing on the side of his face, but again, going for that triangle. He may have this one locked in. He taps. Paul taps. It is one mistake like that every single time that will get you. Chase Peel out of nowhere, off the slam, gets that triangle, taps out Paul Crawford with 1:11 left in round number 1.
That's why it's called mixed martial arts. It's because you have to be totally well-rounded, and Chase was well-rounded. But Paul was just a little bit aggressive, did the slam, followed up, got put in the triangle because he slammed so hard and he followed into the guard.
We go to the Project Filter replay, brought to you by Project Filter. You decide when, we'll show you how. Here it is right here. The big slam by Paul Crawford, and gives that mistake, comes in slowly, allows Chase to think about it for a fraction of a second, locking that trial. The second he gets Paul's arm, it's over right there. Very smart move by Chase Peel.
It's a good game plan. I don't know if he planned that out, but it just takes one little mistake and it can be capitalized upon, and Chase did a great job. But, honestly, I think the star of this show was Paul Crawford, to be totally honest with you.
I would agree 100% completely, and we'll talk more about that just in a minute, but right now we are going to get the official decision inside the cage with Britt Talbert.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner by way of tap out at 146 of the second round, improving his record to 4 wins against 2 defeats, representing SBG Combat Fitness, Chase Peel.